Okay. I think we are live here. We should be. How is everybody doing? Just finishing getting set up here. So I'm spilling water everywhere. We are picking back up with what we were working on yesterday. We are needle felting along with the Bob Ross tutorials. And we are on the last tutorial of season 3. How about that? What is going on here? Oh, okay. Sorry. There was a notification that I didn't understand. So anyhow, we are picking back up with where we left off yesterday, working on our tree line. Here is the link to the Bob Ross tutorial that we are following, because I have it in pause most of the time, and I also have it muted, so we can't really hear it. But there is the link if anyone wishes to go see that in full, and we'll go ahead and we will pin that guy into place. Alrighty. So let me see here if I can get us adjusted a little bit more here. Nope, wrong way. Alright. Okay. So, I mean, this is like a little bit of a not wanting to lay flat right there, but I think that'll get fixed once we start getting down into here, because it is a lot of fluff right here. Alright. So I use yarn mostly. I use acrylic yarn for the most part. Occasionally I'll use some roving. I just don't have enough roving, and it's not as cost effective for my budget to use only roving. But you can use acrylic yarn, especially if you have a wool allergy. Alright. And I've got a little bit of water here. Sometimes that helps pull the fiber in together. Just helps it behave a little bit. We're going to just dive right in today. I actually wanted to start a little bit sooner today, but body was tired. Man, we had some nasty storms come through last night. We had that severe thunderstorm watch that I noticed towards the end of the stream yesterday. And then kind of after dinner, we had some storms blow through. Our power flickered a couple times. Apparently somebody hit a utility pole down the street from us. We had a branch fall off, like a small chunk of a branch, like the length of my arm, maybe from like here to here, forearm, fall out of a tree in the winds and just stick right into the ground standing straight up. I was like, oh, okay. So that happened. One of my flamingo statues on our porch fell over. The tall one didn't. Mongo didn't. Mingo did. which I thought was interesting. That big guy did not. They both had the same, we have what would it be, like dumbbell weights? Barbell weights? We have one of those sitting on their foot, on their base, to keep them from falling over. And surprisingly enough, the little one just, I guess it wasn't weighed down enough. Little one was like, nope, I'm out of here. But yet, in all that chaos, because we had like 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts or something, we have a light little plastic table sitting on top of the cover or the screen to our fire pit, just kind of sitting there chilling out. It didn't even move. I'm like, okay. Sure. We had to bring in a bunch of the wooden wind chimes because they looked like they were gonna take off and go flying. It was wild. And then, like, within a half an hour, the sun was coming out, and we were like, the fuck is this? It was wild. Oh, there goes my YouTube algorithm. Thanks. Thanks, Nisey. Good job. Keep forgetting I can't curse in the first 30 minutes. It might be 20, but it used to be 10, and then I think it got pushed back to 20. But here we are, putting in the last bit of our tree line here on our closer to us bit of land, as we are attempting to push the lighter teal trees back further. These two colors make a very nice, actually all three of these make a very nice tropical ocean combo. So I put some more, well, not more, I put a couple things up in on the Amazon wish list because of our idea that we came across yesterday. I do have to double check the measurement on those stencils though. I found some wooden coffee stirrers that are squared off on the ends that I think I can use and cut with either an X-Acto knife or a pair of scissors to make the frame. Oh, that's gonna need a bit of a patch there, isn't it? To make the little frame around the little mini paintings, little mini needle felteds. And because they're so small, I should be able to get through them a little bit faster, in theory. Let's see, do I need to put a patch over you? I don't know. Let me see what we can do here. Can I move the fluff over enough? I don't know. Here, you know what? Let's turn the map because we didn't really turn it yet. Yeah, it needs just a little bit of floof. Just a little floofing. So hope everybody's doing okay on this Monday. And that it's starting out gently for you. Hopefully it is. Okay, that's a little bit better there. I do have a little thin spot in there, but I think I'm gonna let that one go. That one's not as noticeable. At least I don't think it is. Okay, so again, I'm using acrylic yarn, which is why it kind of looks the way it does. I kind of like the yarn a little bit better than the roving. It feels a little softer. The texture is a little bit more enjoyable to my fingers. That's probably just personal preference. Alright, I'm just trying to get this guy a little bit pulled out here. Oh gosh. That's the one bad thing with putting the camera where I did. My head keeps popping in here. Nope. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Not too far. Okay, no, I do want to go this way. Because then I want to move that up. Okay. It might not matter. Because then I'm going to end up adjusting everything. The camera moved there. It shouldn't have, but it did. We can actually have the bottom coming off the camera screen at the moment. Alright, I don't think the desk is shaking now. Sometimes it's hard to tell because the monitor I'm looking at will shake back and forth a little bit. It's not secured to the desk. My other monitor I had to secure to the desk with zip ties. Because the one cat likes to shove that monitor off the desk when Russell was using it. I try not to let them up here. But my desk also comes in contact with our door when we open it to go in and out. So it just seemed safer to zip tie that one to the little ledge that it's sitting on. Plus, it's just a little bit wider than the monitor ledge on this desk, so just made sense to make sure we had it strapped down just to prevent any silliness. So we kind of have some little, I don't know if it's coming up on camera, we're gonna have some little light dark blue in the light blue down here. That seems a little bit random. I'm gonna cover that up once we get the river in and I adjust our bank there a little bit. Okay. This guy. Figure out where we want his height to be. Again, I don't want to come over these trees back here. Maybe in one or two places it would be okay. But it probably should not be that tall. Because I'm trying to imply that these are further back. So these guys should try to remain taller. To my brain. Alright, let's get the rest of our tree popped in here. So husband and I are still working on Diablo 4's current season. We're down to the last chapter, but he decided to roll a barbarian to see if we can sorcerer a barbarian, because 2 sorcerers just wasn't quite enough. Or at least we didn't think it was. I don't know if I'm gonna have to swap to a barbarian, but last season we had to do 2 barbarians to get through the end bit. We will have to see. I might have to change up the potion I'm using for when we get there. But we'll see. I'm still working on getting all of my gear upgraded to 925. Which is a little bit of a slow process for what I'm trying to get. But we'll see. So what is everybody's favorite art medium to work with? And if you're watching this back on YouTube, go ahead and put that in the comments. What's your favorite thing to do? Doesn't matter if you're like... Oh, I wonder if that's what fell. My little mini Gurhead's missing. Oh wait, no it's not. It's up here. Okay. Sorry. It's like, where, or maybe it's an Invader Zim. Face is a little squared off, so it might be Zim. Alright. You don't have to be super good at it, just like, what's your favorite thing to do? Like, I dabble in a few things. I can't really say I'm super good at any of them, but we dabble. Oh, I think I got this guy a little too far over. Can I smush you over a little bit, friend? Maybe, kinda, sorta. There we go. So, they've had the part of the main road through our downtown ripped to shit. And this side's getting all kinds of wonky too, look at that. Ripped to shit for months now. And there were signs originally saying, oh, they're gonna be done redoing the water lines on that end of town by the fall. And at the time I was like, really? That's an awfully long time. They're still working on it. They've still got it a mess. And apparently today they posted on our town's Facebook page, like the city's main page. They're like, oh yes, we are entering phase 2 of our downtown revitalization project. And we have a grant from, I guess, the state or something. That is, it's a grant from somewhere. I don't know if it's the federal government or the states. It's coming from somewhere. And so they're having an open meeting I guess for city council or whatever, for people to come in and give their input on what they want to see. And I'm like, shouldn't this have happened months ago? There's no way this is going to be done by the end of the year. I don't know, man. They had a traffic light that they put down there, and then people started bitching that the traffic light was red too long in one direction and it was backing up traffic, and blah 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 blah. And they changed it back to a 4-way. And I'm like, but the traffic light really wasn't that big of a problem if you switch it to just flashing red at night, maybe. When there's like not as much traffic, like maybe by 8 p.m. just switch it to a flashing red where it becomes a 4-way. I don't understand why they couldn't just do that. That would have made a little more sense, I think, but no, now it has to be a 4-way all day. Alright then. I think we should be more worried about the people speeding down the side streets. And those that are doing like 75 to 80 through a 55 zone. I'm not pulling those numbers out of my ass. That's what the cops have posted photos of their radar guns of people they've caught going through the bypass section of our road system around our town. The list of warrants that keep getting issued, I guess, for people not showing up for a court or whatever, probably for speeding tickets, it is quite long a lot of the time. Because they keep posting it on Facebook. If your name's on those lists, you need to contact us to resolve this issue. Like, oh boy. Mr. Fuzzes, I don't know why you're there, but you don't belong there. That looks like a chunk of cat fur. It might be. Cow climbs all over everything once they go to bed. Is this actually... Maybe I was actually shaking the desk. Seems weird, but... Okay. Where do we want to? Yep, you're gonna live there. Like, we can have some of the other color of the other tree poking through in spots, as long as we're still kind of conveying the fact that we've that we're some more solid down here. Like, I'm okay with a little bit of that poking through, because, you know, tree will be a little bit airy in spots, although that is a little bit more airy than I think I want. I might end up covering that, because now I've seen it. And now my brain is like, what is this? I don't think we agreed to this. No, I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave it. That might be entering a whole new level of obsessive for me. Alright, so we're getting this tapped into here. I am trying to get the bottoms a little bit longer as we're coming around the curve here. Hopefully that is coming through. Uh-oh. I hear tappy toes. Why do I hear tappy toes? Is there someone standing behind me?
No. Just usually come in and have a look.
Oh, okay. I wasn't quite sure whose toes they were. I know they sounded a little bit loud. Okay. At least it's much cooler today. It was gross yesterday. I'm not surprised those storms were, or at least the first round of storms were quite so violent, because damn. We ended up hitting a feels like of 110 at one point. That was a bit much. Just a bit. Okay. So we're getting there. I know it just kind of looks like a wall of color down in here, but this is what's giving us our tree effect as the tops. Okay. So I got a little bit more editing done last night. I got through about 20 minutes of video. I've got about an hour's left of video to go through on the third painting project. I'm hoping to get that done by tomorrow, so I can start on video number 4. Wonder if I should have just popped this one up. Since this isn't quite long enough. And if I do put this one in, it's probably going to involve either adding to it before I start tapping in, or oh yeah, you know what? That answers that. I should have just flipped it up. Because now we've got a little bit more of a gap there than I realized. And that's okay. We can just add some more fluff on top of it and aim for the gap, and hopefully we'll get it filled in. Sometimes my aim is not always the greatest, so we'll see what happens. Alright. I think we got it though. Like down here, that gap was too big to leave that be. Okay. Ow! Stabbing myself. Trying to get my headphone wire out of the way. Really need to charge my wireless. I keep forgetting to. Probably because the charging wire on it is so short that my brain registers it as a pain in the ass for where it's plugged in. So then I like put a mental block on charging it. So it's a very short charging wire. It's like this long. Might have to add a new needle felting mat to that list here. I don't know what to ask for Christmas this year. I'm still pretty good on yarn. Kinda good on canvas. At least I think I'm good on canvas. I would kind of like to refresh some of my acrylic paint. That I would like to do. Because some of that paint is getting lumpy. And has been around for quite a bit. Did you ever put food in the bird feeder?
I don't think so.
Because it sounds like they're there looking. And I know that suet thing's like empty and we don't have any more. The woodpeckers have gone to town and the squirrel. So this one I probably will flip up just to cover any thin spots here at the bottom. Yeah, because this guy is not quite, excuse me, not quite long enough. So I am just using acrylic yarn right now. I've got a couple different brands that I've used. I don't know that I have a specific preference on any at the moment. I've used Big Twist Value from Joann's. The yarn's okay. It does the job. If you find a decent sale, you can get a fair amount of it, because the size skeins on that are pretty hefty. I mean, it's not a pound, but for the amount of fluff you get out of it, it's more than alright. The only thing is, I don't know if Joann's is finally putting the nail in their coffin or what. So they did announce they were filing for bankruptcy, and I'm not sure if this is the second time they've done it or not. I haven't gotten any house brand yarn from Michael's yet, so I don't know how I would feel about those just yet. And the other yarn I have currently is Paint Box. I got it from Lovecrafts. I'm not sure where else they might be sold from. And I've been using their Simply Chunky, not their Super Simply Chunky, but their Simply Chunky. They've got a couple different ones. And even though those skeins are much smaller than the ones from Joann's Big Twist, we've still gotten a fair amount of mileage out of them. I haven't had to replace anything yet. Like, I haven't run out. We've been doing pretty good on that front. So we just have a couple more trees left to go in this section. And then we can start our river. Alright, sorry, I'm just fussing with the shape. Because, you know, I can. And I want it to be somewhat tree-like, but I didn't want it too thin at the top. Like, I wanted it pointed, but if it's too thin, then it's gonna, like, melt into the background. Because the little Barbies on our needle will just take that thin little point and just kind of stab it into the background, and then we won't really see it anymore. Okay. So we'll get this popped into here. I do think it's interesting because now we've got like a little bow here. So we might have to lose a little bit on this side when we clean this side up too. And I don't think we had this happen as much with the thicker felt, so I'm a little vexed about that, with it doing it on the thinner stuff. I can see why it would happen on the thinner stuff, because you don't have as many layers, so it's thinner, so it's going to be a little bit more willy-nilly here. There, I'm just going to take that tail up instead of trimming it because I don't think it's quite long enough. And it's okay, we can just add some more to the top sections here, and that will be just fine. A lot of traffic today on this Monday. That sounds like a dump truck or a semi going by. Been a lot of construction going on in town. And it's starting to bleed into some of the side streets, which is kind of vexing, but we saw some of what they were replacing when they had a huge hole in the street one night when we were out walking, and we're like, oh, okay. So yeah, this might be a little bit overdue for them to deal with. Is that where we're pulling up? It might be. I might be creating my own problems. It's entirely possible. Not sure if this piece is long enough. We're gonna figure that out in a second here. Yeah, I guess it's long enough. Alright. So, let's get you figured out here. Alright, you can be coming up just to the tops of your friends behind you. That should be alright. So we're getting there with this tree line. It does take some time, but all things take time. And I am a little bit slower to get all things done. That's just how it goes. That's just how it is at times. Gotta figure out what we're doing for dinner tonight. We could do pancakes, bacon, and cinnamon rolls because it's not as hot today, or we could do chicken nuggets and french fries. And I don't know what I want to do. Do you have a preference on dinner? Husband?
Hmm?
Do you have a preference on dinner?
No, what were you gonna do?
I don't know. We could either do the pancakes and cinnamon rolls and bacon, or we could do chicken nuggets and french fries.
We talked about using that sauce for the chicken nuggets. So
Yeah, but that could also be my midnight snack, so
it's up to you.
I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. Why is trying to pick dinner every night one of the hardest things it feels like ever? That's kind of fascinating how that is shaping up here, and I don't know why. This piece of felt has just been all over the place. This was our good edge. Now it's not our good edge anymore. Kind of fascinating. Seeing what sections of this are getting pulled in tighter than the others. And you can tell something's going on with the base felt by how the tape is reacting. Let's see about pulling that up gently, gently. Wow. What is happening here? Will it fix itself as we get our last bit of treeage put in here? I don't know. Not had it do that noticeably before. We will see. But if it comes down to it, we can just trim up the edges. That's why I say it's approximately 8 by 10. It usually ends up being under 8 by 10. Slightly. Based on the top section, I think we're gonna need to do at least one more tree. At least. All right. Interesting. With how this is playing out. Very, very interesting. Because we're already to the side edge. Over here, which is kind of strange, considering the top isn't. Alright, so I'm going to... I guess we'll flip this upwards. I mean, I could have also had my trees crooked. That is entirely possible. But I think... Oh, I need you to come down a little bit further. Okay. And I'm gonna start to take this guy up. Oh, well, no, maybe we won't. Well, I mean, yeah, we can start to take it up because we've got another tree coming in here. And then with the background snow and me fixing our river bank, we should be pretty good. Should be. So our last tree will end up overlapping a bit as we get him popped into here. Was that next door? I heard / felt a car door slam, and I know that sounds bizarre, but that's how shitty the insulation and soundproofing is in this house. Though I suspect there really isn't any insulation in the walls. This house is very, very old. Okay. So it's not quite as bad as it was there. I mean, it's still kind of what the fuck, but let's see if we can do something about that. Not quite sure how much I'm gonna need here. So I'm thinking this guy should probably be a little bit thicker, at least at the top. Alright. Let's see, where do... Alright, you're gonna go there. Alright, I'm gonna have to turn this guy just for a minute. So I can get us situated. On up into here. And hopefully we can get this figured out. Let's see here. I mean, we got some of it kind of pulled back into place. Sort of. Alright, let me see here. Okay. So that section's pulled back in a little bit. Now I might lose a teeny bit when we trim. And that's okay. It's set up a little bit for that to happen. So we're gonna have a little bit of that happening. But honestly, with the way the rest of it's behaving. Okay, so yeah, we did bow out on both sides, so we're gonna have to lose a little bit when we trim. I don't know if I was pulling up there. I have a tendency to pull up from one particular spot, so this might have been a disaster of my own making, because I won't think about where I'm pulling up from spots at times. What's with all your notifications?
Just tell you when you're done.
Is something going on?
Maybe. Nothing huge, nothing you have to stop for. I'll just tell you when you're done.
Okay. How concerning is it?
Not super concerning.
Okay. So is this just you and Tyler talking back and forth, or?
No.
Oh.
I will tell you in due time. Either that or mute yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to mute because now my brain's gonna be like, what the fuck?
Sure.
Hold on, let me... Okay. Alright, sorry about that. Alright. We will go up in through here. So this is slightly bizarre. I needle felted through the tape. That's not what we wanted to happen. That's not why the tape is there. So let's see if I can get that smooshed off of there. I mean, it's not like super end of the world there. Well, looks like we did get a little bit of tape in there. But you all right?
I'm gonna call my mother and double check it's not that card.
With all this social security number business that was going on, husband's been checking the credit reports more recently, and he saw something on only one of the credit reports that were like, the fuck is this? Because when my dad died, the insurance money that I was left with, we paid off all of our credit cards, and then when Russell got his back pay for disability, we paid everything off again. We were clear. Everything we knew about was clear. And now he's seeing something from 2018 that he's like, what the fuck is this? That just showed up on one of them. And we don't know if it's the card that his name is on with his mom, where he was apparently made an authorized user, or at least that's what we thought it was supposed to be. So now we have to verify the card there. So we don't know if the bank fucked up or if there is shenanigans afoot. But it says it's being paid, so we're confused. It's either a number typo or something odd is happening here. Alright. So if we start at the corner and come down, we'll lose a little bit of the tree there, but our sides are always wonky. I mean, at least on the thinner felt. It's just, that's just how it is, man. Oh wait, what are we doing? We still need that. Alright. So we're gonna put that color to the side. We're gonna look for our river color here. There it is. So I like using this denim color as our river color, our lakes and stuff, because it's kind of gray, kind of blue. It feels more like a riverbank color to me. I was gonna do this upside down, but you know what? Let's do it this way. Alright. So let me trim this down into smaller pieces. Kind of prefer to work in the smaller pieces. Okay. So we're gonna be right up on the edge here. Did you get a hold of her?
Yeah, it's her one card that I had a card in my name with.
Okay.
So I'll have to see.
Can they remove that? Because
yeah,
that's
I'm
not
sure.
your card. Does your name still need to be on that card?
I'm gonna start by searching to see about if we can remove names.
Okay. Because I think you have to call the card company. Because my dad did that with me. Like, I was a temporary authorized user when we had to move him that one time, and then I think he removed me after I gave him the card back. But he had to call the card company. I mean, we could have gone with like a gray for our water too. They used, hold on, let me take a look at the video here. They used the same color as the sky. I don't really like using the sky color as my water, at least for this. It seems a little I don't know. I guess it's just kind of reflecting the same light that the sky is, and that's the point behind doing that. It's just when we're needle felting, I don't like the sky color always being the same as the watercolor. I like to have some kind of separation going here at times. So you might have to wait until she comes down.
Oh yeah, I'm going to.
Because I think she's the one that has to call and have you removed. Yeah, if the card's in her name. Turn our mat here. Okay. So yeah, our sides are gonna be wonky. We're just gonna have to clean it up when we're done. It's kind of infuriating because we didn't really have to do that on the last one. So yeah, I think for the larger pieces that we do, I think the thicker felt will probably be the better way to go. I'll still be using the thinner felt for some things that we've got coming up. Number one, I have a ton of it. Well, not a ton, but I've got a good amount of it. And number two, for a couple of the things, I don't necessarily think the thicker felt will work for it, because I just barely managed to get the thinner felt to fit. Now, this particular denim color does have some like grayer tones to it, so that's gonna end up making me go over this a little bit extra, because I'm gonna be like, is that the background color, or is that this yarn color? Sometimes it's easier to figure that out than others. Oh gosh. Why? Why? Oh gosh, that's not it. All right. Okay. So I am trying to make sure we are right up on our tape line here without going through it. That would be super, super helpful. I don't mind missing and stabbing the tape, I just don't want the tape becoming part of the edge, although if it does, I suppose it's not the end of the world, because we'll just end up cleaning this up with our skizzers. We can't do it yet though, because we're not done yet. Now it's okay if we don't get this edging quite right around this outer edge here, because these are our shrubs that are going to be hanging out down there. And it can come into the shrub a little bit. We'll just extend the shrub over the blue line there, just a little, the blue edge. And then everything will be just fine. Or at least in theory it should be. Now see, that is like right on our pen line there. Okay. Just going through this bit of fluff here that we kind of added in over top. Just trying to make sure that they are looking fairly good there. And they seem to be for the most part. I also like this color because it feels like a good cold water color. Probably doesn't make any sense to some people, but like I kind of know the point I'm trying to get to, but I'm gonna start to bring this guy in. And I'm gonna slowly start to work on our edge here along our shoreline. So it's gonna be a little bit of a mess here as we go. But just a little bit. I'm gonna keep trying to go straight across as much as I can, just to keep our water kind of level, because while we don't necessarily have brush strokes in this, we do have our strands of fiber, and I do feel like it is a little bit visible which direction they're going in if you really look at it. So I want to try to make sure we are following along with that. Oh, that's irritating. We're doing so good on that side too. Okay. Now, we might lose a little bit of dump truck. Might lose a little bit of our dump truck. I don't have Tourette's. There's a dump truck going by. That's what that loud noise was. We might lose a little bit of our shoreline here, but we're gonna put it back. As we go to clean up all of that, as we put our river, water, lake, whatever pond you want this to be. I keep like going back to call it a river because it's just kind of what it feels like. It's probably really a lake. Since he didn't put any kind of like movement indicators in here. Okay, that's starting to come together fairly nicely. Now I know that's not attached all the way in that spot, but it's okay. It's gonna be okay. We've got more fluff coming in. This is why I have to do the water sometimes. There we go. You don't have to roll it into fiber sneaks. It's just something I do. If you're using roving, you would probably just grab a little bit of the straight fibers and just kind of plop it down on there. With the acrylic yarn, I'll have the bits of fluff that got caught up in the brush that aren't as straight and stranded together like the section I'll be holding in my hand, but still usable, and I just like to roll it a little bit. It makes it a little bit thicker. I don't know, it's just something that I do. That I really probably don't need to do, but I do it. It's definitely a Niseyism. Okay, that looks good there. See, this is like little strands that I didn't quite get brushed out entirely. It's up to you if you want to leave them in there. I don't think it's really going to hurt us too much. So now for our next bit, and I like to overlap these just so we don't have too many shenanigans afoot here. Just kind of pulling the little tail back so I can see a little bit easier. There's no real pressure on it. Not like tugging like that. If I did, it would split here anyway. Just kind of moving it back and forth so I can see what the heck we're doing. Alrighty. Now I'm not gonna worry about the light sheen on the water at the moment. I'm not even sure what color I would make that. He's just kind of leaving it kind of like white, but when he does his little blend out over it, it kind of becomes a really light blue. I mean, in theory, if you wanted to put it in, you could take one of your lightest blues that you have and pop that in there. I tend to omit that unless I really, really need it for the piece, because I don't want it to just become, why is this color here, kind of a situation. So I'm just kind of taking this guy as far as we can here. No point in trimming him because it's all going to be the same color in this section as we make our way across. Okay, I'm going to gently pull that up. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, foot snapping and popping. Okay. So this is like another large block of color that we are popping into here. So it's gonna take a bit. He's probably due.
Yeah.
Alright, so we get this worked into here. Overlapping a decent amount. Momo, let's go!
Come on, Sketchy Bucket.
He seems to be doing a little better today.
Yeah, I think he just got a tummy bug from something he shouldn't have eaten.
I think he's still acting like he doesn't quite feel good, but at least
Yeah.
he's not.
He's not being sick constantly.
Yeah, he's not like throwing up white foam anymore. And we did take him to the vet yesterday. And they gave us an antacid for him just in case. We needed it, but they're like, no, it's not bloat. Like, bloat looks a lot different than this. And we're like, okay. I just wanted to make sure. We'd not seen him act that way before. So, I don't know what he got into. Unless he tried licking his foot after I had put the tea tree oil spray on it. And his system didn't like it. We've used it's hot spot spray. He was licking himself into a hot spot on his feet lately. So I gave it a little spritz. That's the only thing I can think of that maybe he tried licking it after the fact later, forgetting that I had sprayed it. Okay. I thought my needle was rolling off the desk. It was Russell opening the screen door. I was like, what was that noise? Okay. Grab a bit more of our fluff. You okay? Okay. So I might double back this one. Just a little bit. It doesn't matter too much because we're gonna have our other color that we're gonna fix up our shoreline with. Let me just kind of pull that up here so we can see a little bit better what we're doing. I kind of want to start to fix our shoreline in this section already, but I think we're gonna wait till we get the rest of our river color in here. So I'm just kind of bumping that up a little bit. Okay. So do we want to come back down here and keep bringing this over so that we're a little bit even, or do we just want to keep going across where we are? That's a tough call. That one is kind of a tough call. Let's think about that for just a minute. All right. Okay. So this guy, I guess we'll keep going up here. We'll overlap a little bit into the blue. That got a little bit weird there, so I'm just gonna grab some of that extra fluff in our tail. Just cover up that big gap that was trying to happen there. I think that section of fluff was a little thin. I think that's all that was. Alright, get that guy popped into there. Back's looking like a hot mess at the moment, but that's okay, because we're more worried about the front. Alrighty. So let's figure out our next move here. We're kind of just following the edge of our ground color. Doesn't matter if we overlap it too much, because we're going to come back in with the ground color and clean that up. just to smooth out the transition between these two. Right now I'm just more worried about getting this color on here. And then once we get that dealt with, we will move on from there. And fix up the ground that our trees are sitting on. Okay, let's flip that up. All right. I think we might try to work on catching up some of this, although I don't know. Maybe we should just keep going along the shoreline and then slowly bring it down. That might be the better option here. Okay. We'll get this guy. Popped into here. All right. Not too bad there. I mean, you can kind of see what it's gonna start looking like with the watercolor popped into place here. Give me 1 second, you guys. Alright, sorry. I needed to know what the husband was doing, because I'm like, you're not making food now, are you, right? Because I'm like making dinner in like a half an hour-ish. Sometimes he's done that where he starts to make food. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm literally making dinner. Like, he'll make like an elaborate whole ass huge ass meal and he goes, oh, I didn't notice the time. So I just wanted to make sure that he knew what time it was. Okay. So I think we're gonna have to order hay next month and make sure it's delivered before we leave. Because I don't know that the mother-in-law would put it away in the way we need it put away so that the cat doesn't eat it. Because the one cat will eat himself simple on it, and he has in the past. And we don't want to repeat that. Because that was not a good outcome. That was a very expensive outcome. Okay. Yeah, you guys can see that. For a second there, I wasn't sure. So I know my hand's kind of in the way here. Okay. Crunch, 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 crunch. Who needs snow when you have needle felting and a wool needle felting mat, right? Like, who needs it? We can pretend we have our own snow. Right? Probably not. They're very different. No idea if we'll have snow this winter. No idea. I still would like to do a trip to Key West at some point in December. Even if it's the beginning of December, when they do, or once they start doing the Contour train Christmas light tours around the island. Seems like so much fun. I love looking at Christmas lights. I'm such a dork. I love it. I love all the twinkly little lights. And what photos I've seen from it looks so fun. Maybe one day, because it's going into holiday time and their high season, so it's a little expensive to travel down there at that time. I'm still stoked our hotel is as inexpensive as it is for where we're staying. It probably also helped that we booked like at least 6 months out. You take a gamble if you don't book ahead of time by a couple of months, because hotel rooms can fill up fast, especially if you're trying to go down for an event. You want to book that as soon as you can. Okay, so that's looking pretty good there. See, there's something about this color that just makes it feel like I'm looking at cold water instead of like warm tropical water, so I love it. I love this color for water. I know we're sideways again. We spend a lot of time sideways on this guy. It happens. But it helps me see what we're doing. So anything that helps with that is just fine in my book, and that'll just be the way it is. Oh, I hear a kitty. Sounds like Little. I think she's actually in the other room meowing at the husband. She's been so spicy lately. Jeez, this one, the traffic. All of the loud traffic today. She has been so spicy lately that we've been calling her GP for Ghost Pepper. 'Cause, oh my goodness. Although the other night was Russell's fault because he was winding her up. And the more wound up she gets, the spicier she gets. And she was already a little spicy. She has a baseline spicy in that one of like a 3 to 4. She's a little crazy. She definitely doesn't take shit from anybody. Human or other captain. Haven't seen her swing at the dogs, but the dogs are nervous around her, so she may have. Though I think she may have also gotten whacked by their tails a few times. I know the dogs aren't real fond of Mr. Peabody, but Mr. Peabody has swung at them a few times for seemingly no reason. So I don't know if they're trash talking each other, but if Mr. Peabody is even standing near Momo's bed or sitting on the bed above him, he started to growling at him. So I don't know what conversation the two of them are having, but it never seems like a good one. Okay. So let's get that all slid down there. All right. Not doing too bad, I think. Probably should have made these a little bit shorter in here, maybe, but... And we're gonna come back in and we're gonna fix this, but I want the river in first. River, it's probably a lake. I keep calling it a river. I don't know what my mental block is on that. My brain wants it to be a river, so that's what we're gonna go with. Peaceful Waters sounds like it should be a lake, though. Alright. So I want to come back in here and get along our tape line a little bit more. So that way we can flip to working on the middle and have this guy facing the proper way, as that would probably be most helpful. Oh, the sides on this one are just going to be all sorts of everywhere. It's just crazy. Oh well. I mean, it is what it is at this point. We're just gonna have to fix it at the end. Or try to. It won't be the first time. And I'm sure it won't be the last. Okay. So if we have to trim that there, we'll lose like maybe 1/4 of an inch on that side, potentially. And we'll probably end up losing about 1/4 of an inch in spots on this one. But, you know, we're getting there. I think we'll end up stopping there for today, though. Yeah, I probably should have had those guys a little bit lower now that I'm looking at it. Oh well. Oh well. So, yeah, we didn't do too bad today. We're looking pretty good so far. Next stream will be on Thursday, because I've got some stuff I've got to do this week. And, so no bonus stream today. I'm also hesitant to do the bonus streams at night, because I don't know when our friend's going to be available to have nerd time with the husband. Because he's getting ready to start his next semester in school, so don't know what his schedule's gonna look like just yet. Yeah, and I've got editing to do and some other things. I have to re-bleach my hair. The husband's birthday is on Thursday. I think we'll still be streaming though. He didn't seem to want to do anything for his birthday, so I will see everybody Thursday. Don't forget to follow those socially links down below. If for some reason we don't end up streaming on Thursday, I'll let you know on the X Twitter. So make sure you're following there. Don't forget to walk on over to the YouTube channel and subscribe over there and turn the notifications on, because you'll find out when a live stream has been archived over there, or if I've posted something that we didn't stream. You'll also see that in your notifications, and it's free to subscribe over there. It's not like the sub here. It's definitely free to sub over there. It's like the equivalent of the follow here. And that will definitely help the channel out over there. We're currently at 215 subscribers on the YouTube channel. We need to get to 500 if we want to even think about trying to monetize. So we've got a ways to go there. I hope everybody has a good week, and it's a gentle week for you at the very least, and at the very most it's an awesome week for you. Yeah, I'm gonna go. We got guinea pigs to feed, dogs to feed, us to feed, and I will see everyone later in the week. So until next time, have a good one.